Good afternoon, Gossip Talk Show's family. Is Nunsa here at Gossip Talk Show's Find Your Own Voice, late from within. So with me today, I'm with Amanda Morel and Amanda Murray and Grant Morel. You guys are all sorry. And how are you guys?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
should
all
laugh.
Murray and Morel.
Amanda Morrell and Grant Murray. I sometimes people call me Grant Murray, and I do not understand how people get, these people know me relatively well. They know my name and they read my name and it comes out as Murray. And I'm thinking, how can it? It's just spelled differently. But there you are. So it's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, sorry, Grant. Sorry, Amanda.
That's okay. It's okay.
So,
Usually people mess up my last name, not my middle name. My last name's harder.
what's your last name, Amanda?
Trowel.
Cultural.
Huh?
And I saw that name. When I was in Ireland, I saw that name written down.
Oh,
And I
interesting.
thought of you. Yeah, I was in a very historic place actually in Ireland. We were sightseeing after I spoke at the conference, and I saw your name written down. I thought of you.
What's Cottrell? What's Cottrell?
Cottr yellow.
Is
Yeah, I
that
don't
your
know.
last name?
Yeah,
Okay, what is Murray?
my middle name.
Really?
Mm.
I thought it was your surname.
No.
Not a double barrel name, right? So,
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Amanda Murray Cottrell. So you've got a really nice name.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you family like with the Cottrell gangsters? They related.
is there a gangster family with that name? I didn't know.
Yes.
Not that I know of.
The man's like not as far as I'm aware.
Like I teach elementary school.
Awesome. Also, yeah, you've got beautiful names, Amanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love beautiful names. Grant is a lovely name as well. Is there a meaning for it, Grant?
Hey, the grant means a grant, doesn't it? It's a gift. It's a gift. But I believe how the name came about was my mother, when she was pregnant, she was reading a book, like a love story, and the character in it was, I think it was an American love story, and the character in it was called Grant. And she thought, oh, that'll do.
Okay.
You may not think that'll do, but yeah, that's the name she chose. Yeah. So it's quite an unusual name. I don't meet too many guys with my name. Actually, I do know a couple at the moment, but it's quite an unusual name. But when I was
I've not met any Grant yet.
you haven't met any?
No.
Really? There's a
Yep.
couple. I know one at the moment, actually, who's also a hypnotist, strangely enough. We speak at the same conferences. But when I was at junior school, as it was called then, yeah, there was a grant there as well, which is really really unusual. And there was a girl there with my same last name, and my last name, the way it's spelt, is relatively unusual. So that was a really strange coincidence. There was a guy with the same first name and a girl in my class with the same last name, completely unrelated. There you go. That's a little bit of trivia for you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the topic, guys. Today's topic is why holding on to positive energy matters. When crisis hits, be it a sudden loss, heartbreak, illness, financial hardship, or overwhelming stress, it's easy to spiral into fear, hopelessness, or negativity. But here's the truth: you are still in control of your energy. In the minds of chaos, choosing to protect your peace becomes your greatest act of power. So I didn't choose this topic, guys. I was desperate for topics. Amanda has stopped writing blogs. So I went on one of our old Facebook videos and I found the topic. So that's where I found the topic. I was like, that would do for today. So hopefully it's going to inspire someone else. What do you guys think about the topic today, Grant?
I think it's a brilliant topic. I think it's a brilliant topic because again, it's one of those topics that it's like a savings account. That's the way I see it. You need it. You need to have it. There's going to be a time where you're going to need to fall back on it. And it's good to know how and why. And there you are. That's the reason. That's the reason. So I think it's a great, all these topics are great topics for people in life as you go through your journey of life. I think they're there. They're there to support you. So it's best to understand the lessons beforehand so that you're already prepared and you have things in place. That's what I think. That's good. What about you, madam?
I think that when we look at positive energy, sometimes we like get stuck, right? And our minds are going like down this spiral hole of like all of the negative things that could happen. And then we need to like stop ourselves and be like, no, I can redirect this energy into being open to the positive things that can happen. And sometimes something that we assume is negative in the moment is actually like working in our best interest in the long run. And sometimes we think like, why is this happening to me? Instead of like questioning, like, could this be happening for me?
Right.
And in the long run, it actually be something really good that you're actually grateful for in the end. And it's like almost like a shift in mindset when it's like, why is this happening to me? It's like you're negatively feeling stuck. Whereas, like, how could this be happening for me is already opening the doors to more possibilities. And so when we like just do that simple little mindset shift, it can really like change our energy and just think about how much lighter how is this happening for me feels versus why is this happening to me? Like those two statements have like different energetic feelings even. And I think sometimes we need to like pause and say like what are we saying to ourselves? And how is it that what we're saying to ourselves is affecting how we show up and how our energy shows up in the world?
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, guys. Like Grant says, it's something that we need each and every single day. And Amanda, you say instead of when things are happening, instead of saying why me, so just try to reward the words, why is this happening for me? Because I think every challenge that is presented to us, there is a reason for it. So I 100% agree with you when you say it's nice to reward, because when we reward the words, it helps us to hold on to that positive energy and the positive attitude, and just knowing that everything is going to work out fine. Because if things go wrong and you go with them, you respond in the wrong way, then uh, the energy switch changes. So it's good to keep it that way. Good energy, like Grant says, is something that we need every day. Good energy, holding on to positive. Over to you, Grant.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think why would you hold on to positive energy? Well, it presupposes something. It presupposes that you've got positive energy in the first place. So I think the first thing with this is make sure you've got positive energy. How do you get that? There's many different ways to get positive energy in the first place, right? So you want to have this in reserve. So this can come from positive energy, could be in the forms of building the immune system. That's positive energy, right? That's one way of looking at it. In case you get sick or unwell, because it knocks your defense mechanism. So have a strong defense mechanism. So that could be one way of doing it, making sure you're eating correctly, trying not to be too depressed, too stressed, try and stay away from stress. Stress is okay in a small dose, not too much of it. What could you do? What could you do to alleviate stress? To put yourself in a good position? What could you do to be happy, which is also positive energy? What can you do that makes you happy? I know there's serious things, and some people stay away from happiness because they're like, I've got serious work to do. Fine, you can have serious work to do, but you can do it cheerfully. You can cheerfully go about your work. Even if you've got a large workload, try to chunk it down, if you can, into small bite-sized chunks so that you can just do one piece at a time, focus on that, get it done, and relax and laugh and enjoy yourself. recharge your batteries, then go on to the next. This is one way of looking at um, having positive energy. Of course, there's many more, and the more obvious ones you may think about. But I just wanted to put that one in first of all to think about how you can look at your foundation, your health, your wellness, your vitality. How can you do that? Making sure you're being around the right people, the right environment, because the wrong environment people can pull you down super fast. There can always be times when we're around the wrong people, but try to recognize it and stay away from it as much as possible to keep yourself peak performance. That's just what I wanted to put first of all. Amanda, what do you think about making sure you've got positive energy? How can you do that?
Well, I think what you're talking about is exactly right, is being aware of what you're consuming. So the people that you're surrounding yourself with, the TV that you're watching, the podcasts that you're listening to, the music that you're listening to, the books that you're reading, all of those things affect your energy. And so when we are trying to hold ourselves in a positive light or in a positive energy, we need to be really conscious of like, what is it that we're feeding ourselves, even the food that we're eating, right? The
Yeah.
food that we're eating, but it's not just like our food, what we're consuming in all areas of our life, what we're consuming on social media, what we're consuming on the television, all affects our energy and our energy levels. I know too, it's like starting to be warmer outside where I live because I live in Canada. And so like that energy is changing too, like that hibernating energy of the winter is starting to like break free, and we're starting to have, like, I almost feel more alive because there's more daylight, right? And so sometimes in the winter we can have this like hunker down kind of like hibernate energy, whereas in the springtime it's like things start to come to life again and we start to feel rejuvenated from that restful period over the winter. And so I really think when we're looking at holding on to positive energy, really think about what it is you're consuming. So Grant, if or Nomza, either one of you, what sort of things would you suggest to consume that would really like uplift your energy? Like I can think of a few books or a few podcasts that would really help people if they're struggling on shifting their energy, but maybe you have ones that you suggest to your clients that would be good.
I'm going to throw music in, first of all. Music, whatever music that will be for you, because it uplifts people. And, last night I was out watching some people play music and we got a conversation about music, what songs we've liked growing up and stuff like this. And I found myself saying that some bands, some music saved me, because I told you before, I hated school, hated it. But some TV programs, some actors, some music pulled me through those tough times. It topped me up. So I got through it. You could call it escapism. You can call it what you will. I don't really mind. But I got through it in that way and it topped you up. But music, as we know, is a great drug. It releases great chemicals in your body. Some people, therefore, will dance. Nomsa, I've seen you dance, right? When there's been tough times, you do a dance thing, right? To release energy or grief or something like that. I've seen you do that. So tell me about that. How does that work?
I do the dance when I fed up of in the physically, when I have to connect to the in the realm of the spirit. I do the dance to connect with God, to find that happy place in my heart. And
Wow.
I love music, but I don't listen to all of the music. I like good lyrics. Because it's really, really important to what you listen to. Like Grant, you say music saved you, and there's some actors that saved you. Those actors became your role model, and that music that you listen, the song when you're sad, it brings happiness into your heart. So I just love dance. I love music anyway. Um, it's just it gives me joy when I'm sad. If I sing or if someone tells me some bad news, they go through challenges, bad news, I create music for them, I send to them. And it's just so beautiful.
That's
So
lovely. That's
yeah,
lovely. That's really nice. So I think all of these things can be great. Also, like meditation. Meditation can be a great way to top it up. Meditation. What about exercise? Some people love cycling, jogging. They get into the zone, playing sports.
Yeah.
All these things can be great ways of doing it. And it depends what you like. I mean, some people. What about you, Amanda? What would you like in those situations? What does it for you?
Well, I definitely like have been guilty of being like, yeah, you should meditate, and then not meditating as often as I should. And so lately I've been like listening when my alarm goes off at 5:30, I put on this Joe Dispenza morning meditation for the first like half an hour before I even get out of bed, and I listen to that for half an hour. And that really like, even though I'm like not even really awake, like listening to it and trying to do the breathing, and then I like half fall back to sleep, but I'm still listening to it, and I find that it's really shifted my energy during the day. Like I feel a lot better throughout the day, and then I have more energy later in the day to get to the gym and stuff. But I definitely find that yoga and meditation and books for sure are my go-tos, and podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time while I'm at the gym. And so what you're listening to in your podcast really help. I've been listening to Mel Robbins podcast a lot lately. Um, and there's like other ones, like I was listening to, I forget his name, the guy who wrote Miracle Morning. I was listening to his podcast quite a bit, which was really uplifting and just like very positive. I find the Miracle Morning guy really positive, and his podcasts are short. They're only like 20 minutes to like an hour at most, which is if you don't have a lot of time. Like when I listen to podcasts, I just put something on while I'm at the gym, and so I have at least an hour or an hour and a half to just listen to something while I work out. But if you have a short amount of time or listening in the car or something, those shorter ones are good too. Um, I think that when we are feeling stuck, it's really about just like getting out of our heads. Cause I think that's like our own worst enemy for me, for sure, is when I get stuck in my head, and those like spiraling thoughts and I really need to get out of my head and into the present moment. And sometimes that's even with like cuddling with pets, right? You can cuddle with your pet or laugh at your pet. And we were just laughing at my kitten this morning because she's climbing in my plant. And like those just like little bring that lightness into your day, right? Especially when the day feels heavy. Laughter is like the best medicine on so many levels.
I like that when the day feels heavy, bring the light. It's really important to, like Amanda, you say, laugh with your cat and things like that. But some people, they don't. They will start asking like questions like, why do I have to go through this?
Yeah.
Like Les Brown says, who do you suggest to go through problems? Go hide under the cupboard and um, hide from problems so that they don't locate you. So
Definitely can comment on that, because like I was stuck in that when I was going through a very toxic divorce, and I was like, how did I end up with such an awful person in my life? Like I'm smart and I've got all these great things going for me, and then I ended up with this like really manipulative um like financial infidelity, real infidelity, like all of the things, right? And so I was like, how did I end up in this situation? And then I like now, over like 12 years later, I can look back and be like, it was a really good thing because it helped me grow. It helped me become stronger. It helped me be able to help other people. It helped me be able to write a children's book on divorce called Divorce is a D Word. Sometimes two homes are better than one. It helped me become a better parent. It helped me become a better teacher. It helped me become a better writer, like all of those things. But in the moment,
Right.
it was really hard, right? And I was stuck in that, why is this happening to me? Or how did I end up in this mess? Like I'm a smart person. How did I end up in this mess? And I sometimes think that we are given challenges in our life as an opportunity to grow.
I think you're right. These things happen, you don't realize they're there, but they do get thrown at you, and sometimes it's not always a bad thing. It's a great learning experience. Sometimes we go through these experiences, and it makes you the person you are, and opportunities come your way because you've had that experience, because you've had that understanding, and you can handle that. So sometimes, it can be a blessing in disguise, but it certainly doesn't feel like it at the time. But certainly what makes it easier is to have that reserve, is to have that energy. So, I mean, when you look at it, if you play sports, it releases endorphins, okay? All of these things which are good because stress, if it builds up cortisol, you need to release it. Adrenaline is a very bad thing. So, obviously, if you play sports, it can be an adrenaline release. So, it's very, very good for that because you don't want too much of that stuck in your body. So it's really, really good in that sense. And that can help to make you feel better and to keep positive energy in store. Because when you think about when it happens, what does happen? If you have a bad time, you can go into shock, you can go to overwhelm. It can drain your energy mentally and physically. But if you've got more in reserve, you've got more to combat with. It's very simple. And it's often overlooked. But if you've got nothing in the tank, it's going to take it from somewhere, and that's going to make it ill. So it's better to have your cup overflowing, as it were, so that you can do that. And I think it's really about taking active steps towards it. And I think as life goes on, your life changes a little bit, your abilities alter. It was said the other day when I was talking to someone that was doing exercise, as a middle-aged guy doing exercise, he said, what he realized was that the muscles, it's not that the muscles wear down as you get older, but the fibers become less strong. What they become thinner. Really, yeah, literally do. So you've got to strengthen the ones you've got, which is so true. And it is that continuous, just, hey, let's do a little something continuously, is the thing that maintains it. And it occurs to me that if you took that same kind of attitude, that same attitude with your attitude, with health, with your vitality, if you took that same attitude with, you're topping up your positive energy, it's just a top up constantly, rather like going for a jog every day. You're just doing something to build it up, be it laughter, be it yoga, be it walking, be it poetry, with talking to friends, whatever you do, just to keep that on an ongoing basis, to keep yourself topped up, it's going to really help you so much. And I think also in careers, if you're topped up, if you're going through a tough time at work, or you're seeing people go through a tough time, and at that point you're topped up when other people are not, you stand out from the crowd. And that's when people like you. They see you as a hallmark, and why's this person different? This person's dealing with it. What's the secret of their success? That will make you stand out from the crowd and can often get you promotions, pay rises, etc. I think we've all seen people rise above in these situations. Have you guys ever seen that? And if so, what do you attribute that to?
Uh, Me, I go running every day, Monday to Friday. Um, I love going for jogs, and sometimes I like when I'm feeling like a pressure, um, I do my dance. It's hard to create my dance video though. So I create my dance videos and I go jogging, I listen to my music, and but at the same time, how you respond, because jogging is not going to, it helps you to think differently. So when I'm jogging, I'll think differently. I'll be thinking about who do I need to contact first thing if I'm having problems, or I will just speak to God and say, God, help me if I feel stuck. And then somebody will just call me and say, I thought about you, that person that I truly, truly need, and God will provoke them to call me, say, call them, so she needs you. And then that person will call me, and then I will start talking to them, asking for help. So it's really, really important. But holding on to positive energy is really, really important. It's not ignoring what you're going through, but it is allowing, thinking about the good times where maybe you had similar problems and how you were able to pull through, and just understanding, like what Amanda says, you said challenges that are being brought to us, they help us to grow. So for me, that's what that's always my belief, that everything is like, I want to create, since I said Ngozi Talk Shows one day is going to be a university, I seem to be bumping into problems with the universities. Yeah, I finished my degree in 2.5 years. I don't know if you guys saw my video, and they refused completely to give me my degree. And the woman who marked my exams, she was like, I failed my degree. I said, no, I passed my degree, because I never got like a 50%. I always got 70, 80, 90%. And then she was like, she gave me failure, but I did not give up. I said, no, I passed my degree. So I kept writing to them to have to actually give me my degree. They kept telling me what they thought. I never gave up. Every week, every 2 weeks, until last week they offered me my degree.
Wow. Last week?
Yeah,
Really? You got it last week?
yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. I don't know. Congratulations, Dom. That's huge.
I know.
Wow, that's brilliant. How you kept that quiet? I didn't know.
No, you guys don't watch my videos on. I created a video on my profile. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. In the end they gave me my degree, but I didn't give up. I just kept writing
Yeah.
and putting points and stuff. And then in the end, because there was a department that was helping me, and in the end, this woman said, okay, we keep writing to these different people, we're not getting anywhere. Why don't we now ask you to speak to qualifications department? So we ask if qualifications department can contact me to tell me my qualifications. The woman said, yeah, we'll give you a degree. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we'll give you a degree.
Because of the work that you've done, right? Because the portfolio of work you've.
Yeah. And because I did honors, and she said, if you want to make it bachelor degree, I'll give you 60 credit, or you can have 120, whatever you want. So instead of booking for graduation, I said to her, can I just take my credit and just use it when I'm ready? So she gave me till 2031. So I'm gonna go and do another 1 year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've got the bug now. You're going to do. So, what will your next degree be in, Nomsa?
I can choose a science or art. She's given me two choices, but I think it's science. I like science.
So, my question is, does this provide you with positive energy?
Yeah, it gives me positive energy, because I kept that energy.
Yeah.
And I kept going. Someone would have given up, or they would have gone into depression and given up. But me, I don't believe in depression. I don't believe in stress. It's like asking myself, if I stress myself now, what happens tomorrow when my life is sorted out? It means I'll get like health problems. So I believe in holding on to that positive energy and trusting whatever the results might be, and be okay, and keep asking uh, for the results. And I believe in keep asking, because I never know if I don't ask. So I just, that's my belief.
Wow. Amanda, does did it used to give you positive energy, or does it still give you positive energy?
Well, I really love learning. And so like there's times in my life where I'd be like, if I didn't have to work, I would just go to school all the time because I love learning. But one of the things that I didn't love doing was like getting to the point where you actually like write the essay
Oh, all
or
right, okay.
whatever, right? Like I love reading and I love learning, but I've learned that I don't need to go to
I don't
school.
think anyone likes to write the essay, Amanda.
Well, I love writing now, but
Oh, I
it's like
bet.
then you're like forced to write. I don't like it, but I definitely like I love learning new things, and I have that like lifelong learner piece in me, and so I've thought about going back and doing my PhD or something, but I also am like, where's that going to get me when I can just like learn all the time from podcasts, from books, from other people. Like I'm constantly learning. I don't have to be in school to learn. I
Right.
already have 3 degrees, right? I don't need another one right now. But I also think too, like sometimes we think that we're only learning if we're like in a like institution of learning, but that's not the true at all. We can be learning all the time. I actually have one friend that's like extremely successful, and he didn't do any schooling past high school, but he did take courses along the way that he needed to that helped in his industry get him to where he is, and now he's a business owner and he's like multimillionaire doing extremely well, and never taken anything past high school, and actually wanted to drop out of high school, similar to you, Grant, where you hated school. And so I think
Dropped out
sometimes
as well. I
he does
dropped out.
he doesn't hate learning, right? If
Yeah.
learning has to be something that you're interested in. And I think sometimes there's this like stigma where it's like you're not learning, quote unquote, unless you're in a university or school or something, and that's not true at all. I think we can learn all the time from other people, from books, from life experiences, from like what it is that you're interested in. When you have kids that really struggle in like traditional school, they actually can like hyper focus in other areas where they are interested in something, and that's really truly a gift. They're just not hyper focusing on something that's valued by the school system. And so sometimes it's hard to like navigate those things, right? Because our school system was really built on something that was structured like 500 years ago,
Yeah.
and it hasn't shifted very much since then. And I would really love some time to like be able to talk to you, Grant, about like how do you think school could have been made different so that
Oh,
you would have felt successful in it as a child? Or like what is it that's made you like you're a doctor now, even though you hated school, going to school? And so like how did you manage to like still get to where you are? We're having real hard struggles in like traditional schooling
yeah.
system to
Yeah.
begin with, because as a teacher, I want to help all of those kids that are struggling. Like I have one kid who's in grade 5 right now, and he's like wrote his first sentence by himself in the past week. And like he's in grade 5. And I'm just like so proud of him because he wouldn't
That's,
write anything by himself like ever. And I'm like, here's a sticker. Like, I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. And like, but he wrote a sentence that's something you should do in like grade 1, but this kid just has different strengths than other kids, and writing's not one of them. And so the fact that he's starting to get enough confidence to be like, I can try to write a sentence on my own now, like that is a huge win, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy.
yeah.
Right? But like what is it that you would have needed?
Well, with me, I wasn't particularly good at school. It wasn't, I was a relatively bright student. You know, I did quite well. I was on a call the other day, and all these people say, I bet Grant was a straight A guy, straight A. And one said, I bet it was straight A or D. If he wasn't interested, he just didn't. And I said, no, neither actually. I was, somewhere in the middle, probably B's and stuff like that. I got the odd A or A minus, but no, I wasn't a straight A student. But it wasn't that I was challenged particularly at school. It's just that I just didn't enjoy it. I just really didn't enjoy it. In fact, I hated it for a period of time. I really hated school. And sometimes it was okay. When I found music and fashion, for some reason, it made school better, and I can't explain why. But I don't think it was very interesting the way it was taught. I don't think it's very interesting. And I did have some good teachers, at times. Some were really great, and I never knew teaching could be like that. A lot of it lacked a lot of imagination. It wasn't particularly good. It wasn't interesting to hold my focus. I didn't find it interesting. Um, some parts were enjoyed, but I think teachers need to be more enigmatic, more engaging with people, less dictatorial, more engaging, which I'm sure they are now, and that could be a lot better. It could be some fun, teaching. I mean, I saw a mathematics teacher. He was our deputy head, and once our mathematics teacher was sick, and the deputy head stood in. And looking back now, it's clear to me that that deputy head had been promoted to a position where he wasn't happy. He was a very talented teacher. He was jumping around and very animated, made the kids laugh, but got the lesson through great. I mean, your focus and attention was great because of him. I never knew mathematics could be like that. He was great. And I was like, why are the others not like this? He was a very clearly a very good teacher who was passionate. I never knew him like that. He was a very stern deputy head, is all I knew him as. But actually, he was a great teacher. So why did teachers not put more passion into it like that? Because it is teaching should be a passionate subject, I think, I'm passionate about teaching people what I teach them now. So if I was a teacher, I'd want to be passionate about what I was teaching. And I think that energy gets transferred, and that positive energy gets transferred. And that's another thing. So yeah, I think it's really important to have that. And I think it should be there. It should be automatically built in. It should be energy places, because that helps you learn. If you laugh more, as you focus more, you relax more, and you focus more, and you take more information in. And that's the whole idea. Right? And it's fantastic. It's just I don't think the whole curriculum's set up very well. And also from a business coach's point of view, we always say when we teach, I did a talk the other day, and people say, why don't they teach you stuff in schools? Well, quite simply, it seems that the school curriculum is taught to make people into employees. It's not taught to make people into business people.
Yeah.
So there's no concept of having to learn this stuff, because they're not suspecting most people will go and do it. And most people don't actually. So it's not wrong thinking, but I think it could be a little bit more rounded. And of course, it depends on the school and the country you're in, and all these things. And since I was at school, situations, and I'm sure the curriculum has changed quite a lot since I was at school. Yeah. So maybe those things are in place now, but I didn't see them in place at the time.
Yeah.
Interaction with the kids, proper interaction, building relationships with them. I don't ever remember seeing that really happen. But it could be a very steadying set of hands for certain kids at the right time. And that would help an awful lot when it comes into things like what we're talking about here today.
Yeah. I think that having fun and the passion, and also having that entrepreneurial spirit and opportunities to be entrepreneurial in school is I would agree with you, something that we definitely need. And I try to do as much as I possibly can within the curriculum that we have to spark kids' interests in lots of areas, and to give them entrepreneurial types of opportunities as much as possible. But I wish the curriculum was geared more towards that. I would 100% agree with you.
I don't remember some of the things I've learned at school.
Such as nonsense, such as.
Honestly, the things that I've learned at school, I don't remember, but the things that I've learned at university, because I like doing some research, and I like anything that challenges my mind. I remember it, but most of the things really, like schools, is all taught to. It's like with the university, it's too much writing essay. So sometimes I ask myself, all these things, how are they going to help me to actually get out there? Because if you are writing like 2,000 words, and some of the things you already know, and then you have to put it on paper, sometimes I find it boring. But I like when I have to do some research, like doing statistics and stuff. I think it's nice and get the results and do the analytics is nice because it's some things that are important. But there are some things like writing essay, I think is annoying. I like studying for gossip talk shows because I like gossip talk shows to be in university one day, but mostly when I'm studying, it's more like evaluating what the universities do, what's the gap with the universities and stuff. Because I think if we were to learn personal development and everything in school, university, the business side of it, how to start your own business and stuff. I think that would be nice.
I think it's good. It gives people more choice.
Yeah,
I think lots of people want to be an employee, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some don't.
yeah,
And I think it's
yeah.
good to expose people to
Balance.
choice. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good thing because they may not be in business now, but they may be later, or their parents may be in business. And as they get older, they support their parents' business. There could be lots of things. It should have an element, I think, to that. I think it's very beneficial to people. And
Yeah.
again, the more choice you got, the less stress people have, and the more positive energy they have. And that brings us back again. That's another option is to give people choice. If you give people choice, they feel more in control. And I think that's that. And I'm not sure if anybody's out there listening who's got a certain problem or not sure what to do about it, how to combat it. Yes,
Trust
the
me,
message is
the
running.
audience that I speak to, they always have challenges that they're facing.
Wow. Wow. And we can help them. Do you got any examples there, officer, of how we can help?
I think most of the people they feel stuck. Some they're not from the like they're from like African countries. They don't know really how do you move forward to because people believe that starting a business you can start it, you have to find the funds first. But I think starting a business, like if I was coming from Africa, for me, I'll create a YouTube channel, but I'll be cooking food. Because people like a culture, different things. Like, yeah, I'll be cooking food, African food and stuff.
I had some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a birthday party the other night, a great birthday party, and there was lots of African food there. It was good. Even got to bring some home.
Yeah, there's a African girl. She's married to a Chinese guy in China. Yeah, she does African uh cultures things on her channel.
I bet their kitchen must be very colourful. If it
Yeah,
didn't say African married to an Asian, you say?
Chinese. Yeah, Chinese guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it could be a complete, give the pun, a melting pot of various foods going on. It must be a really nice place to live, actually. A
They're
pretty accent.
always they are always cooking with their spouse, with their husband.
That's nice. Nice thing to do.
Because Chinese people likes to cook and African people like to cook. So together is like a bonus. Miracle is a miracle.
So what we spoke about is people being aware that you need to have your battery topped up with positive energy.
Yeah,
Various ways you can do it. As I said, we talk about sports, we talk about yoga, we can talk about meditation, the diet, the exercise you have. All helps massively towards your top up of mental energy. So what else can we do? Sports. What kind of sports? Active sports, I think, are better. Some cerebral sports are good, such as chess as well. This helps people keep in control of their mind. If they feel they can control that, they feel they can control other household factors. Okay. So these sort of things really come about. And when these things come about, they can all add stress to you. But the more prepared you are, the more you can combat it. The more you dealt with these things, the better. Can you foresee these things coming up? and make a plan. You think, oh, it's going to be a tough time, so let's get ready. Yes, you can see them if you look further ahead down the road. And when I coach people, I get them to map out their future, sometimes a month ahead, and quickly soon I try to extend that for 3 months ahead, and then from 3 months to 6 months, and if they can, all the way up to a year. So you can start to predict what's coming up. And then if you see it's going to be a tough time coming up, you can ask yourself, are you in good enough reserve energy to combat that with your mental energy? And that's a great thing. It's about energy management. And I think that's the most important thing to remember here. It's not about having a little energy or a lot of energy. It's about having the right amount of energy released at the right time. And that avoids those horrible highs and lows and keeps everything on a constant and makes you feel you're in control much more. So that's just what I wanted to share. Amanda, what do you think?
Well, one of the things that I think that we didn't talk about that we should have added into this too is talking about like setting healthy boundaries around your energy, your time, who you surround yourself with. And I think that maybe that could even be a topic for another day, is like how to set healthy boundaries so that you can maintain positive energy around you. And I was thinking as you were talking about different things about setting really clear boundaries that you are completely at peace with, regardless of how other people react to those boundaries. And I think that would be a really great topic that ties right into this. And so, yeah, just exactly what you said, exercise, books, podcasts, and then we could add in setting healthy boundaries too. Nomza?
Very good thing to
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. What's the topic? What did you say, Amanda? Setting healthy boundaries.
Yeah, to maintain positive energy. Yeah.
Right.
I think to maintain positive energy, you can also set goals. You set
Yeah.
goals and not realizing if you don't set a goal, you think, oh, it's some big, long, rambling thing that's going to take up to the age of about 90 to finish. No, take it into bite-sized chunks. Because if you take your overall goal and slice it down to bite-sized chunks, that way you can celebrate at the end of any chunk, any piece of work that's been done. And when you celebrate, it recharges your brain with that mental energy. Okay. And that's really, really important once you do that. It all comes from what you're doing, your body releases it naturally. So it's a very beautiful thing to have, and it's a nice thing to have. It makes you feel good, it makes you behave good, it makes you perform better, faster, and stronger, and it's healthy and it's good for you. If you can do that, you could be in good stead. So that if a problem does come your way, one of the 6 examples that we gave earlier, if one of those comes your way, you can handle it much, much better than if you didn't. Over to you, Nomsa.
Yes, 2 minutes. Are you off school, Amanda?
No, I need to get to work.
Okay, my words of encouragement, guys, because Amanda has to go to work, is choose your focus, protect your energy, speak life over yourself, connect to a higher source, which is God, and just know that everything is going to work out fine. And just healthy boundaries, like Amanda said as well. Very, very important.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Have a great day, everybody.
Take care, folks. Well done.
Live with grace, everyone. See you next week. Are you here, Grant, next week?
It's the 4th week of the month. I will not be here.
Okay. Me and Amanda